have a little over 175 users that I manage, and the categories, the biggest category there is the referring physicians that access our Intelerad PACS system so that they can see their patient images, which they do quite often, and of course the radiologist group and transcription group, administrators, PACS administrators that get on there. So, but the biggest group of that is referring physicians and the techs within the outside offices that need to see what the images look like. We have a little over 20 servers off-sites that our doctors read from, and we have several people that can connect into our sites that send us images to be read, so all through different various connections. So it's a medium-large network. And we have one archival colo site that is our main center for all the images to come into, and then we outsource them to all of our other servers and sites that the doctors are sitting on. And there's probably about 12 actual reading sites, but of course any of the physicians can get in and read from anywhere, and that's what makes Intelerad pretty good. PACS systems, we connect to 3 other PACS systems. We don't maintain them, but we connect to them through, they either can send images to us direct from the PACS, that kind of thing. Currently, we actually interface HL7 with HL7 messages to one PACS system. And again, we don't maintain that PACS system, but it can talk to our PACS system. And that RIS systems, we actually only connect right now to one RIS system the same way. But we plan on in this year to connect to like 2 or 3 more. So we found that it works well, and we like it, and we want to expand that in other areas. I'm the PACS administrator, and I have what we call network controllers, and we work in shifts, but basically there's at least 2 people at all times managing the workflow. Our goal is that when the images hit the radiologist work list, that they're complete, they're ready to read, any priors that were needed are there, all of the doctor's orders, all of that information is there, and that's their function, is to make sure that we did get all the images that were sent to us. So they manage the workflow, the goal being to have everything ready when the doctor goes to pick it up to read it. So basically there's me and there's 2 other people that actually do the day-to-day activities. I would say that the key challenges are working with everybody's different network, security policies, stuff like that. What we have employed to make that an easier transition. For instance, when we first installed Intelerad, you're not going to walk into a bunch of hospitals and say, here's our IP system, now re-IP all your stuff. So we wanted to go in and say, here we are, we're going to get it all network set up. What do you want us to, IP our stuff as? And that we found that that was very effective. So we employed natting, and therefore we could set up any IP scheme that we needed to with the appropriate firewalls. And when we first did our install, we installed 12 servers in one weekend, and we were up and running by Monday. So the ease of being able to go in there and have the network planned out and the project planned out with Intelerad, how we were going to deploy all the servers and get it set up, that was a challenge, but that's how we met that. Day-to-day challenges now, making sure that we're using the appropriate bandwidth, and really connecting with people and getting the manual process out of the middle of it. And the biggest manual process we have is the paper, making sure the doctors have the orders, all of that kind of stuff. And Intelerad has some solutions for that with the print-to-PACS that they help support, so that you can digitize your paperwork and get it in. So we basically also went paperless after a year of starting Intelerad with print-to-PACS and utilizing automated faxes. So anytime we can try to either conserve there or address bandwidth is, that kind of thing is what we try to do. Our challenges there are that each one of our sites are different. Some have RIS systems, some don't. Some of them just are very basic, clear to, they have everything that we need. And again, we have found that it works better if we meet in the middle, and if we can connect via HL7 messages going back and forth, that seems to be about the best. Leaving basically the paperwork the biggest challenge, the ultrasound tech sheets and that kind of thing, because HL7 doesn't really do images and stuff like that as far as transfer. So you're dealing with, you can't take that digitized, you have to digitize, so you have to do that on either side. So that is still our biggest challenge, I think, getting the paper. Now the unified work list, again, because we're so into so many different sites and different imaging facilities that we don't own, and we're just providing a reading service, but our goal is to read everything on our Intelerad system. So we went out from starting Intelerad. Before that, we were reading in all these different areas on all these different systems. And so the goal of Intelerad and what Intelerad has enabled us to do is we read everything on one system now. And as soon as the doctors and the referring doctors in the site see it, and they see that, gee, your MSK specialist is sitting way down south, and instead of having to drive up there and do it or whatever, we just send it out there on Intelerad, and he can pick it up like that and get it read. So that's what Intelerad's enabled us to do, is to have our subspecialists out where they need to be, and they can read any of their cases that they can pick up if they're a neuro doctor, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. They don't have to be stuck out just at a certain location, because Intelerad enables you to get the work everywhere. So the challenge is to have the paperwork and everything the doctor needs right there to be ready to read. And we've worked out the workflows to do that. We don't really have any central work list, everybody doesn't just work off that one work list in the imaging center, but our doctors have their own work list, and it's all tied in with Intelerad, so it is that centralized work list that they can work on. So that has helped us. We add new connections all the time. We just upgraded our colo from 2 servers to 6 servers. We started with you guys, I think, in 2006, and this actual last server deployment was the longest that we've ever had to be down at any time, and it was 2 to 4 hours. I don't even think it took the whole 4 hours to deploy the 6 new servers and get up and running. So our goal is there so that people don't even know we're down, and so we do it on the off hours that we can. We're pretty much 24/7, but there is a little window in there that we can usually squeeze in. So going from our 2 main master servers to adding 6 seems like quite the challenge, but we planned the project with Intelerad. We use their advice on what kind of hardware and everything that we need, and they plan it out step by step, and usually goes pretty smooth. I can tell you one other challenge that Intelerad has helped with, and they're helping with, is that usually the referring base is huge on Macs. Mm-hmm. They like to use Macs, and that is about the only thing that Intelerad starting. They didn't use Macs or have an app for a Mac, and now they do, and I think that's going to lead them more into the iPhone and the iPads and all of that, which that's a pretty good move, because there's a lot of referring physicians out there that just love their iPads and Macs. Right. As far as Intelerad in general and the IT aspect of it, we just got the MAML module just a few months ago, so we're going to be expanding that, figuring out the monitor configurations and everything that work the best with that. What I'm trying to get to there is not everybody has 5 megapixel, $20,000 monitor sitting in their house kind of thing. So, what is gonna be the next step and the best way with Intelerad, as our reading system, or any system to be able to read mammals from just anywhere but within specific places. That's always a huge, and that's a lot of image data to be shuffling back and forth. So we'll be figuring out how to address those issues, how to be able to get the mammal stuff done and not just be isolated. And we kind of have similar circumstances with pets doing the same thing, and we're using the Intelerad pet module now, and so we're seeing where that has been helpful.